This is a Craftsman 113 6-inch joiner, and I'm going to show you how to tighten the belt up on these models. Over time they'll get loose on you, and this one here is still running pretty tight, but it could do to have it tightened just a little bit. So the first thing you're going to do is come to the back of the joiner, and you'll notice that there's 4 bolts right here, and I believe they're 5/16 bolts. Should be carriage bolts, and you just loosen them up. There we go. That's better. Alright, now that it's looser, should be able to come around to the back side and push the motor down, and this should tighten the belt. So let me get back over here and push down on it. There we go. Something really got it. You may have to use some form of persuader. Don't hit on the motor, but you can hit on the bracket. There it goes. Oh yeah, I tightened it. Now one thing you want to be very careful of is sway. And what I mean by that is, it goes back to like on a bandsaw. You want your pulleys from the drive down here on the motor to the front to be coplanar. And what I mean by that is just be in line with each other. So you don't have to get it super duper accurate, but you do need to get it pretty close. You don't want those pulleys to be that far off. So just spin it a little bit by hand. Make sure it's tracking pretty well. You move your motor up and down wherever you need it to. It may be a little bit twisted, so you may have to hit it on one side more than the other. There we go. Much better. And that's that. Pretty simple. It can be a little intimidating sometimes, especially with a joiner this old, but that's pretty much it for tightening up the belt. And then after you get done with that, of course, you want to tighten your bolts back up. But it's a pretty straightforward process, and it's pretty easy. Make sure you get them good and tight. You don't want that thing walking on you while it's running. This here is a DeWalt DW734 planer. It's a 3-knife planer. And the drive belt on this is a big kind of serpentine, kind of wide belt. And here's the drive pulley, and here is the planer pulley. Now, as far as I can tell, there's no adjustments. Everything is fixed in place. I imagine that's there because they don't want anything to get out of trueness. They still want all this stuff to work. So the less moving parts you have, the better it is. But unless there's some fancy trick that I don't know, there's no way to get this belt from over here to over there unless you got a lot of hand strength. So what I did was I went down to the shop and I made this little kooky looking thing. Looks like a Christmas tree, and all it does is it's got a hole. I think it's a 5/16 dowel that's going to fit in this hole, excuse me, on this pulley that's on the drive motor. And it's just tapered so that when I put it on there, the belt should slide on the top of it and we can kind of ride it down. So we're going to give it a shot and see if I can't get it on there. Might take some finessing, but I think if I can start it, it'll go. Oh, that didn't work. Try again. Alright, I got it close on there. I've been trying to kind of beat it on a little bit. There she is. Alright. Just gotta get it down on the big pulley. Just turn it, put pressure on it. Kind of like a bicycle chain. Alright, there she is. Sometimes you just have to move them one link at a time. Seems to be pretty tight on there. I had a lot of trouble just for that little thing. That should do it though.